We come here to celebrate Shabbat, as Jews throughout the world are doing. But we also come here to celebrate Sarah Takami becoming Bat Mitzvah, which is the most important thing as far as we're concerned happening in the Jewish world today at this very moment.
Exactly.
So Sarah, we are very proud of you and wish you the first of many mazel tovs today. For those who maybe haven't been here before or who are unfamiliar with our service, we have a prayer book called Mishkan Tefillah, which is either right in front of you or if you're in the front row, it's beneath your seats. Throughout the course of the service, either Sarah or I will tell you exactly where we are. If you know the prayers, please be full participants in our service. If you just want to let your eyes wander around the page and kind of see what else is in the prayer book to find your own meaning, please do so as well. But just really enjoy what this moment means for Sarah and for all of us as we come together on this beautiful Shabbat. So one of the first, actually the very first mitzvah, the very first sacred obligation that Sarah takes upon herself as becoming Bat Mitzvah is to put on the talit, the prayer shawl. I'd like to invite her grandparents, Ellie and Jerry Mednick, to come forward to present her with her talit.
Sarah. Sarah. Mazel tov, Sarah. Sarah, hang on to this for one moment. Okay. Thanks. I'm just going to read this from a sheet, but I have a lot in my heart to say to you. But the wearing of the talit is significant because it is a constant reminder of God's commandments. And today, as you become bat mitzvah and a daughter of the commandments, it becomes your responsibility to observe these commandments.
Ancient rabbis decided the tzitzit, or fringes, should be attached to a shawl. Today we present you the gift of this talit to honor the special day that you become bat mitzvah. We hope that when you wear it, you're reminded of this day and of God's presence with you today and all days. We love you very, very much.
We love you, Sarah. Here's our shawl for you. You want to put it on her? Put it around her. Put it around her.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu l'chitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
Before we continue with song, I'd like to invite Kim Furzer to come forward and to share a reading as we really begin our service.
May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
Continue on page 192. Page 192 as we sing this prayer that acknowledges the beauty and joy of celebrating Shabbat in the sanctuary. Ma Tovu.
Ma Tovu Alecha Yaakov, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma Tovu Alecha Yaakov, Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Avov Eitecha
On page 195, every morning when we awaken and greet the new day, we thank God for restoring us the gifts of our bodies, our souls, and our minds, and we share some blessings to acknowledge the creative wonder and power of God. Let's join together at the top of page 195, sharing this blessing for our bodies. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, rofecho basar umafli la'asot. On the next page, we share this blessing for our souls. Elohai neshama.
Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi tehorahi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi tehorahi. Ata verata, ata yetzarta, ata nefachta bi, ve'ata meshamra bekirbi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama, shenatata bi tehorahi.
This time I'd like to invite Yoshiko Takami and Chihoko Imai to come forward and to share a reading together called We Thank You. And it's not in the book, so I'll just invite you to listen.
We thank you, O God, for our family and friends, and for what we mean and bring to one another. We are grateful for the bond of loyalty and affection which sustain us and keep us close to one another, no matter how far apart we may be. We thank you for implanting in us a deep need for each other and for giving us the capacity to love and to care. Help us to be modest in our demand of one another, but generous in our giving to each other. May we never measure how much love or encouragement we offer. May we never count the times we forgive. Thank you.
That may we always be grateful that we have one another and that we are able to express our love in acts of kindness. Keep us gentle in our speech. When we offer words of criticism, may they be chosen with care and spoken softly. May we waste no opportunity to speak words of sympathy, of appreciation of praise. Bless our family and our community of loved, one with health, happiness, and contentment above all. Grant us the wisdom to build a joyous and peaceful home in which the awareness of your presence will always abide. タラちゃんの人生が幸せなものでありますようにお祈りしています。
Please join me in Nisim B'chol Yom, the blessings for our daily miracles on page 198. Baruch
Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night.
Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. Baruch Atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asot b'divrei Torah.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. We continue on page 215 with Ashrei.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Odeh Hallelu Chasela. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Odeh Hallelu Chasela. Ashrei, Ashrei, Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha. Ashrei, Ashrei, Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha. Happy are those who dwell in your house, they will sing your praises forever. Happy are those who dwell in your house, they will sing your praises forever. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Odeh Hallelu Chasela. Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Odeh Hallelu Chasela.
We continue on page 218, the last two lines of Psalm 150. Let all that breathes praise God. Hallelujah. Kol haneshama.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol hashama te'alleluya, נשמת כל חי תברך את שמך אדוני אלוהינו.
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 224.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, וילמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב במהרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם מעל מיה, יתברך וישתבח, וידבר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי דקדושה בריחו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, במהרו אמן.
Stand if you're able.
Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד. המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please join me on page 228 with our blessing for the morning. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvarei hoshech, osei shalom uvarei et hakol, hameir la'aretz, v'ladarim alecha v'rachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid, maaseh b'reshit. Ma rabu maasecha Adonai, kulam l'chokma asita, mal'a ha'aretz kinyanecha. Tibarach Adonai Eloheinu, al shevach ma'aseh yadecha,
al me'orei or she'asita, yefarucha sela, or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizkeh kulanu me'era le'orah.
Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. We are at the top of page 231. Once or twice in a lifetime, a man or woman may choose a radical leaving, having heard. Lech lecha, go forth. God disturbs us toward our destiny by hard events, and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explode and confirm who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Please join the cantor and me on the previous page.
והאר עינינו בתורתך, ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולא נבוש ולא ניגלה, ולא ניגשם לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו כמניות לארצנו, כי אל פועל ישועות אתה, ובאנו ואכלת, וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת, להודות לך ויחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני, הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד, שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. We are on page 234. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושמרתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשעות בך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohim, amen. We are at the bottom of page 239. The eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is no one else. May the righteous of all nations rejoice you and exalt in your justice. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore. You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart. The stranger that sojourns you with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asked God. The Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy. Praise to God Most High. Blessed is God and deserving of blessing.
Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bum, ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bum. Ay da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bum. Ay da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bum. Mi chamocha ba'ili madonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati lo dosefele, norati lo dosefele. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bum, ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bum. Ay da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bum. Ay da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bum. שירה חדשה שיבחו גאולים לשמחה על שפת בים, יחד כולם עוד וימלכו, ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ובטחי נאומך יהודה וישראל. הו עלינו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני קהל ישראל.
Please join me in Tefillah on page 242.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the doorframe, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the threshold that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions waiting to be posed. They fill me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher, encourage my seeking as I fill my hours with your mitzvot. So shall I be filled. Send me through your doors, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרון, הכתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. Avinu Malkeinu, Moshiach Yashmienu, Brachamav Le'nei Kol Chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, Elohai Tzion, Ledor Vador. Hallelujah. Ledor Vador. Ledor Vador. Ledor Vador nagid God lecha. Ledor Vador. Ledor Vador. Ledor Vador nagid God lecha. ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך קדושתך נקדיש. ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד God לך. לדור לדור ודור נגיד God לך. ושבחך אלוהינו מבין לא ימוש, לעולם ולעולם הבית. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please continue silently through page 261 or with the prayers in your hearts.
You can be seated.
רצון נמרי פי, יהיו רצון נמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, ve'imeru, amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
One of my favorite things to do as a rabbi is to sit with my students and study Torah together, because I love helping my students see how a 2,500-year-old text can speak to our lives today. A bit later in our service, Sarah will share how our Torah speaks to her today. However, I also invited her to ask me a burning question about any facet of Judaism, and I promised that I would begin to answer her question today. So Sarah wants to know, is it justified to have a small place for women to pray at the Western Wall? Is it justified to have a small place for women to pray at the Western Wall? Sarah, the short answer is no. Women should have a large place to pray at the Western Wall. Now, however, because I assume that many of your friends and family may not be as well versed in the religious and political issues that surround the Western Wall, allow me to teach a bit about the situation, past, present, God willing, future. So the Western Wall, also known as the Kotel, is the holiest site for Jews in the entire world. Located in the old city of Jerusalem, it is the remaining outer wall of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, which was destroyed 2,000 years ago, when Jewish life was concentrated there. To this day, Jews turn towards the east to pray in the direction of Jerusalem and the Western Wall. Now, for almost 2,000 years, Jews did not have control over the Western Wall and its surroundings. Therefore, very few Jews were able to visit it. However, after the Six-Day War in 1967, that led to the reunification of Jerusalem, and which placed control of the Western Wall in the hands of Israelis rather than Jordanians, Jews were finally able to pray freely at the Western Wall. And Sarah, I encourage you at some point to look at a photograph of what it looked like then and what it looks like today. Now, for the past 50 years, the space around the wall has been enlarged. Back in 1967, there might have been maybe 10 feet between the wall and the buildings behind it. But it's been enlarged greatly over the last 50 years. In fact, today, the Western Wall Plaza is an enormous space that can accommodate thousands, even tens of thousands of visitors and worshipers at any given time. Every Jewish tour group that visits Jerusalem visits the Western Wall. And for most of the past 50 years, the Western Wall in the area has been run by the ultra-Orthodox rabbinate in Jerusalem. And so they treat that entire Western Wall area like a very large, open, ultra-Orthodox synagogue. That means that men and women are separated. There's a men's section and a women's section. And also, currently, as configured, the space where women pray is about a quarter of the size of the men's section. The problem is that because the Western Wall is being administered by rabbis instead of by the city of Jerusalem, only one expression of Judaism, Orthodox Judaism, is fully permitted in that area. This is the case even though large groups of non-Orthodox Jews visit the Western Wall and pray there, such as when we lead temple tours there and we take our groups to the Western Wall for a visit. When I visit the wall, I can approach it with my sons, but my wife is separated from me. She must go to the small women's section, and I'd rather have us go to the wall together, but the rabbis who control that area don't allow us to. Now, Sarah, I believe this is even harder for non-Orthodox women who not only feel relegated to the sides in a small and less desirable location, but who are also prohibited from praying the way that they would like. Many Jewish women prefer to wear prayer shawls and skull caps, kippot, such as you are today. And we do in our own synagogues, as you are today. But women who wear this ritual garb at the Western Wall are often harassed because the ultra-Orthodox rabbis believe it is improper for women to wear that type of ritual clothing. These women also want to chant from the Torah. However, throngs of ultra-Orthodox men and women try very hard to prevent them from doing so because they don't believe that a woman's voice should be heard, and they don't believe that a woman should chant from the Torah. Now, for more than 25 years, a dedicated and growing group of Jewish women gather at the Western Wall every Rosh Chodesh. The group is called Women of the Wall. And they meet on Rosh Chodesh, the first day of the month, and they try to pray a traditional service with a Torah reading in the women's section of the Western Wall area. Every month, they are verbally and physically harassed, sometimes even assaulted, by ultra-Orthodox Jews, both men and women, who do everything possible to interrupt and disrupt their service. And too many times, and I've seen this in videos, they also try to tear away the closely held Torah scroll in the arms of women. And oftentimes, we see the local police refraining from intervening, allowing the disruptions to continue. And videos of these confrontations are upsetting. Now, to be clear, this women's gathering of Women of the Wall is not only a worship service, it also is a form of activism and protest. Jewish women simply asking for equal space and equal access to the wall to pray as Jewish women would like. They could pray together in their own synagogues without interruption or threats of violence. However, Women of the Wall believe that the Western Wall should be accessible to all streams of Judaism in whatever manner we pray. Let there be a men's section and a women's section for the Orthodox. And let there be an equally large and accessible space for men and women to pray together. Let women lead services, chant from the Torah, and be religious leaders there in Israel and at the Western Wall as they are throughout the world and in Israel as well. Let the entire span of the Western Wall accommodate everyone equally. Now, 2 years ago, a number of non-Orthodox groups, including our own Reform movement in Israel and North America, and Women of the Wall, carefully negotiated a plan to create a larger and egalitarian prayer section at the Western Wall that would be run by a committee of leaders, most of whom are not Orthodox rabbis. However, last June, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu caved into the pressure from small ultra-Orthodox political parties and froze the work on creating the egalitarian space. So today, access to and control of the Western Wall is exactly where it has been for a number of years. And Sarah, hopefully things will change in the future. You see, Sarah, many American Jews feel strongly that the Western Wall area should be open and accessible to all. However, today it still remains an ultra-Orthodox synagogue. While most non-Orthodox native Israelis are ambivalent about the Western Wall, many American Jews feel strongly about this issue. We are trying to use our influence here to help bring about change there. We will see what happens in the future, but for the time being, sadly, I doubt much will change. Yet, Sarah, hopefully, at some point, the Western Wall will have spaces that are equal in size and accessibility, and a space where women can chant and hold Torah scrolls, can chant Torah and hold services led by women, either alone in the women's section for women or with men in the mixed section. And everyone would be able to pray there, but the ultra-Orthodox would not have unilateral control. Will this happen? God only knows. However, I'm pretty sure I know what God prefers. Sarah, I do hope and pray that when you have the opportunity to visit Israel and place your hands upon the cool stones of the Western Wall, you were able to do so in a space of your choosing and one that honors your expression of Judaism. There is much work still to be done, but I do have faith that in my lifetime, and certainly in yours, changes for the better will be made. And just make one promise for me, Sarah. When you go, just send me a photo of yourself, maybe chanting Torah, wearing a talit and a kippah, with the backdrop of the Western Wall filling the frame. Shabbat Shalom. So in just a few moments, Sarah will come to the bima and chant from the Torah, wearing her talit and her kippah. That will not be heckled. Will be supported and cheered, figuratively, and celebrated as she chants from the Torah for the very first time as a bat mitzvah. Now when we open the ark, you'll notice that there are 4 Torah scrolls found inside. And each scroll contains the same exact words, the first 5 books of Moses, the books of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. However, the Torah scroll from which Sarah will chant the Shabbat, is a very special scroll because it was saved from the ashes of the Holocaust during World War II. You see, this Torah scroll used to be used every Shabbat in a synagogue, which I came to understand had men and women praying together. It was a synagogue in České Budějovice in the former Czech Republic. This used to be a very vibrant town, rich Jewish life, just as most of the Czech Republic had before World War II. Now, during World War II, in the years from 1939 to 1945, Hitler and Hitler's army, the Nazis, plundered Germany and all of Europe. They went through towns and villages not only trying to increase land, but they had a goal of eradicating Jews and wiping Jews from the face of Europe and certainly the face of the world, which is Hitler's ultimate goal. Hitler and the Nazis would go from town to town, village to village. They would round up Jews, execute them, send them to concentration camps or to death camps. And oftentimes they would destroy their synagogues and their businesses and their homes. But oftentimes the Nazis would collect ritual sacred objects from synagogues that they destroyed, Torah scrolls and other items of holy ritual objects. And there's a thought that there was an idea that after the war, these would be collected and perhaps housed in a museum, perhaps in Berlin, that would show the remnants of the now extinct Jewish community. Now, this particular community, České Budějovice, and this scroll, they knew that they were in trouble. So at one point, they took their Torah scroll, and most of the towns in the Czech Republic took the Torah scrolls and brought them to the Great Synagogue in Prague. And somehow, miraculously, those scrolls survived World War II. After World War II, after Hitler and the Nazis had been defeated, this particular scroll that we're going to chant from, and about 1,500 others, found their way to a synagogue in London, the Westminster Synagogue, where they were basically stored in a basement for a number of years until someone had a really extraordinary idea. Take those Torah scrolls, catalog them, figure out where they had come from originally, and distribute them on permanent loan to synagogues throughout North America and the world. If you go into many synagogues today, sometimes in the foyer, in the lobby, you'll see a Holocaust memorial. You might see a scroll that is open there and on display, but one that is damaged and cannot be read from. We're very fortunate to have one of the scrolls from which we can still read. It's still considered to be kosher, fit for reading in public use. And we're always grateful when we are able to share this particular scroll. Now, we know that Hitler had a desire to wipe the Jews from the face of this earth. And we knew that Hitler failed, and we as a people succeeded. And here we are more than 70 years after the Holocaust, continuing to survive and thrive and celebrate Judaism in the way that we feel fit here in this Reformed synagogue here in San Pedro and synagogues throughout the world, as this constant reminder that Am Yisrael Chai, that the Jewish people still live and thrive and contribute and celebrate the way that we do each and every day, and especially each and every Shabbat. The scroll from which Sarah will chant is only used for B'nai Mitzvah. We use it for our children when our children become confirmed in 10th grade. Did you read from this for your Bat Mitzvah? I can't remember. Lisa, I'm asking Lisa. I know you did, Michael. I'm not sure if we try to do it for these celebratory moments, both for children and adults. Sorry, Lisa. Celebratory moments, but especially for the children, because it is this reminder that when a child reads from this Torah, not only does it connect him or her to all those who have chanted from this Torah beforehand, but also goes back to those who chanted from it when it was being used every Shabbat in České Budějovice, and all the way back to its source at Mount Sinai from which it came. So Sarah, before we take the Torah and place it in your arms and before you chant from it, I'd like you to come forward and to share your Bat Mitzvah pledge.
I am about to receive the gift of Torah and share in the sacred responsibility of teaching Torah to others. I am able to do this because I have studied and because I have made a commitment to the value of learning. In order for me to grow as a Jew and to share with others the blessings I have received, I accept the responsibility to continue with my Jewish education through confirmation and perhaps even beyond. As bat mitzvah, I am responsible for the mitzvah of learning, and I will fulfill that mitzvah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has made us holy with your commandments, and commanded us to be occupied with words of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamlamed Torah l'amcha Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who teaches Torah to your people Israel.
Amen. So as we prepare to open the ark and invite Lisa and Masahiko to share a blessing with Sarah, and also then to pass Torah and march with the congregation, I'd like to invite to come to the bima to open the ark Bill Bowersock and Greg Higuchi, along with Lisa and Masahiko. And I'd like everyone to please stand and turn to page 364. Page 364.
Our darling Sarah, Dad and I are so grateful that you have honored everyone in this sanctuary by fulfilling your commitment to your bat mitzvah. We are bursting with pride by your presence on this bima, knowing the challenges, persistence, and perseverance that have led you to this very special day. It took great courage to be the first in your class to become a b'nai mitzvah. Sarah Reyna, you are my brave girl. You fought for life when you were in my tummy. You came roaring to life when you were born, and you've been fighting in many ways ever since. You stand up for what you believe in. You stand up on behalf of those you love and those whom you may never know. You fight for what you believe to be good, true, and right for yourself and others. And you fight with a heart of gold, a sweetness supreme, and the curiosity, compassion, and intellect of a young woman who will always be on the right side of justice. You are, and you are becoming, as we say, a Neshes Chayil, a woman of valor. You may remember the story of a family friend who foreshadowed your birth before I even knew I was pregnant. She said you would be a girl, and she said you would be a racehorse. A racehorse? I queried. What am I to do? To which Paula gestured, you must lead. In truth, I've learned that while I may lead you navigating certain areas of your life where I have just a few years' experience on you, you continue to show me that it's important for you to lead me and share what you value in people, in fashion, in home organization, and in fun. You recently shared your Yellow Ribbon Week essay with me and the wisdom and humility contained in your writing. You described some troubled waters you navigated in elementary school and your present loyal group of friends, all of whom who are here today and whom you refer to as a second family. You also described your understanding of your shortcomings when under duress, and in powerful prose, the important role models that Dad, Auntie Kim, Uncle Bill, and Uncle Greg have played in your life, in your valuing diversity of language, of background, of life experiences, and of choices. As Dad and I look toward your future and your following in Mom, Grammy, and Auntie Kim's footsteps in beginning to study French and resuming your love of dance, we wish you to remain the social justice warrior you have become, the loyal, loving, and supportive friend, daughter, granddaughter, and sister that you have always been, and the amazing Japanese Jewish woman that you are becoming. We love you, and we are so proud of you. Mazel tov and omerito.
Sarah, congratulations, Mazel Tov. I have been waiting for this day for a long time, since you were born. Now you are truly becoming a lady, Sarah. 2 years ago, I shared a story of a Japanese boy becoming a man in 13 years old in the samurai tradition during your brother Michael's bar mitzvah. For young women during the samurai period, they receive a beautiful kimono, a traditional Japanese garment. Additionally, they would start to use makeup and have a special hairstyle, showing that the girl was becoming a woman. And the young woman would also go to the temple and pray. On the way back from temple, they were not supposed to look back, which symbolized they would never go back to their girlhood days. Sometime after this event, the young women would be given a small katana sword used to protect themselves when enemies came near. As a result of your bar mitzvah and Michael's bar mitzvah, I have been thinking of the many reasons we celebrate being 13 years old. I believe that people will recognize and respect your being an adult person through this experience. I believe that respect is a key word here. People, and especially adults, offer respect to others given deep consideration. As your mother mentioned during her speech, you are very brave and a courageous person. If you continue to add a kind heart to understanding of respect and consideration within your character, you will be the best person. I know you have such a tender heart already. However, in this competitive world, sometimes it is tough to maintain respect and consideration of yourself and of others. But you can do it, Sarah. Because you are my best girl in the world. Cheers and mazel tov to you.
I'll now remove the Torah scroll from the ark, place it in the arms of Lisa and Masahiko as we pass the tradition of Torah from one generation to the next.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה, תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה, תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו. הלול אדוני איתי, ונרוממה שמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והתפארת
Please be seated. As Sarah prepares now to chant from the Torah scroll, she will be inviting up many members of her family, literally aliyah la Torah, to ascend to the Torah, to come up to the Torah, and to bless each one of these beautiful readings that she has studied so much and is ready to share with all of you. For the first aliyah, we invite up Sarah's great aunts, Pat Mednick and Roberta Albert. Tamdu, Pesia bat Shaika verivka, Rochel bat Mordechai verivka, Aliyah LeTorah. Come on that side. You know where you are? Show them where you're starting. Sorry.
Okay. Baruch et Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. I'm sorry, I'm Barhanu et Torato. Barhanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notei haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Shivat yamim matzot techelu, ach bayom harishon tashbitu seor mibatechem, ki kol ochel chametz v'nichreta hanefesh hahif miYisrael miyom harishon ad yom hashvi. Uvayom harishon mikra kodesh, uvayom hashvi mikra kodesh, yihyeh lachem kol melacha lo ya'aseh lahem ad ach asher ya'achel lechol nefesh hu levado ya'aseh lachem ushmartem et hamatzot ki be'etzem hayom hazeh hotzeti et tzivotechem me'eretz Mitzrayim ushmartem et hayom hazeh ledorotechem chukat olam. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the very first day you shall remove leaven from your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day to the 7th day, that person shall be cut off from Israel. You shall celebrate a sacred occasion on the first day and a sacred occasion on the 7th day. No work at all shall be done on them. Only what every person is to eat, that alone may be prepared for you. You shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for on this very day I brought your ranks out of the land of Egypt. You shall observe this day throughout the ages as an institution of all time.
Where are we? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chaye olam tam v'Eloheinu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Kiss the kid. And then come on over to this side, please. For the second Aliyah, Sarah would like to invite up her very proud grandparents, Jerry and Ellie Mednick. Yamdu, Leah bat Mordechai v'Rivka, Yosef ben Shaike v'Rachel, Aliyah LaTorah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamborah.
Baruch Adonai hamborach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah hamborah laolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Barishon, ba'arba'a, asar yom lachodesh, ba'erev, tochlu matzot, ad yom ha'echad, ve'esrim, lachodesh, ba'arev, shivat yamim, se'or, lo yimatzeh, bevatechem, ki kol ochel machmetzet, v'nichreta hanefesh hahiv, meodat Yisrael, bager vizrach haaretz, kol machmetzet lo tochelu, bechol mishvotechem tochlu matzot. In the first month, from the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. No leaven shall be found in your houses for 7 days. For whoever eats what is leavened, that person shall be cut off from the community of Israel, whether he is a stranger or a citizen of the country. You shall eat nothing leavened. In all your settlements you shall eat unleavened bread.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu no Torah met, v'chaye olam nata batat chuknu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
With pleasure. Just the kid.
Kiss that kid, absolutely. For the third Aliyah, we invite up the incredibly proud parents and brother, Lisa and Masahiko Takami and Michael Takami. Yamdu Matatyahu ben Leba, Leba bat Leva Yosef, Aliyah LaTorah.
Holy One of blessing. Your presence fills creation. You have enlightened this path with the wisdom of Torah, giving to the Jewish people at their particular way. Blessed are you, merciful one, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamborach.
Baruch Adonai hamborach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamborach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, V'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayikra Moshe lechol ziknei Yisrael vayomer aleichem mishchu ukchu lachem tzon lemishpechotechem v'shachatu hapasach ukachtem agudat ezov utvatem badam asher basaf v'higatem El Hamashkov, ve'el Shetei Hamezuzot, min Hadam, Asher Basaf, ve'atem, lo Tetzu, Ishmi Petach Beito, Ad Boker, ve'avar Adonai, Ingof et Mitzrayim, ve'ra'at et Hadam, al Ham Yashkov, ve'el Ve'al Shetei Hamezuzot Upasach Adonai al Hapetach Velo Yitain Hamashchit Levo al Beit Batechem Lingov. Moses then summoned all the elders of Israel and said to them, "Go pick out lambs for your families and slaughter the Passover offering. Take a bunch of hyssop, dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and apply some of the blood that is in the basin to the lintel and to the 2 doorposts. None of you shall go outside the door of his house until morning. For when Adonai goes through to smite the Egyptians, God will see the blood on the lintel and the 2 doorposts, and Adonai will pass over the door, not let the destroyer enter and smite your home."
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen.
Holy One of blessing, your presence fills creation. This Torah is a teaching of truth, whole and balanced, and from it comes eternal life for the people who embrace it. Blessed are you, merciful one, who gives this Torah to the Jewish people.
Amen. Kiss the kid. Mazel tov.
Good job.
Mazel tov. You can kiss your kid too. It's okay. You guys come to this side. Big time. And for the 4th Aliyah, we invite for the first time to the Torah our bat mitzvah, Sarah Takami. Tamod, 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 habachura bat hamitzvah, sararena bat liba, chazak chazak venit chazek.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'elam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ushmartem et hadavar hazeh lechok lecha uvanecha ad olam v'haya ki tavahu el haaretz asher yitain Adonai lachem kasher diber. Ushmartem et ha'avodah hazot Adonai v'haya Ki yomru aleichem b'nechem mi ma ha'avodah hazot lachem va'amartem zavach pesachu Adonai asher pasach Al batei b'nei Yisrael b'Mitzrayim v'nokpo et Mitzrayim v'et batenu hitzil v'yikod ha'ayam v'yishtachavu v'yilchu v'ya'asu b'nei Yisrael kasher tiva Adonai et Moshe ve'Aharon kein asu. You shall observe this as an institution for all time, for you and for your descendants. And when you enter the land that Adonai will give you, as God has promised, you shall observe this rite. And when your children ask you, what do you mean by this rite? You shall say, it is the Passover sacrifice to Adonai, because God passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt when God smote the Egyptians but saved our houses. The people then bowed low in homage, and the Israelites went and did so, just as Adonai had commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natan betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Misha Kocher. Ooh, that's gorgeous. Well done. Stay right there.
I invite you to please,
Stay right there.
invite you to please turn to page 370, and please stand if you are able as I lift the Torah. You can see the verses that Sarah just chanted so beautifully.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה וזאת התורה וזאת התורה אשר שם משה וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל לפני בני ישראל. וזאת התורה 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 וזאת התורה.
Kiss your parents and your brother, they're going back.
Please be seated.
Wait for us to sit.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you all for coming to my Bat Mitzvah service. It is an honor to become Bat Mitzvah in our wonderful and beautiful synagogue. My Torah portion, Bo, comes from chapters 10 through 13 of the book of Exodus. I was very lucky to get a portion that is so interesting. These chapters cover the ritual of the first Passover and the last 3 plagues. These plagues were horrible things God and Moses brought to Egypt, so maybe Pharaoh would let the Israelites go. But Pharaoh didn't give in until the last plague. The last 3 plagues were especially bad because it made it hard for the Egyptians to farm and also greatly affected their family. Luckily for the Israelites, God told them if they were to sacrifice a lamb and spread the blood of the animal to their doorpost, God would know to pass over their houses when he came to inflict the 10th plague, which took the firstborn of all Egyptians. What really interested me in my Torah portion was the 4 children and how they were labeled and also described in the Passover Haggadah. These 4 children were labeled as wise, wicked, simple, and the one who didn't know how to ask, all because of things they said once. I thought this was very interesting because we all say things that we regret or that are special in the moment, but that doesn't mean we have to be labeled as the 4 children were. For example, the wicked child was labeled as wicked because he said, "Whatever does this service mean to you?" By saying you and not us, he was excluding himself from the statement. It doesn't sound like that is a valid reason to label someone as wicked. If this is the case, then what made each other child so wise, simple, or not able to ask a question? In the story of Passover, as you read, you really see that the reasons each one of these sons were labeled weren't very good reasons. Many people in everyday life are labeled and judged for different things, and that's why the story of the 4 children is so important. You can look at the story and see at times we have all been wise, wicked, simple, and unable to ask in the moment. In the middle of this portion, there's a section discussing the ancient rituals of Passover and how they have been passed on to our generation today. For example, the Torah teaches us that we don't eat any leavened bread for 7 days and remove any type of leavened products from our homes. We also eat matzah, unleavened bread, for the 7 days of the holiday. The main way of celebrating Passover is by having a Seder. In the portion, it talks about how to dip bitter herbs into salt water to remind us of the bitterness of slavery at the time of the first Passover in ancient times. At the Seder, it's also very important to retell the story of Passover, which we do with a book called the Haggadah, and remember what our ancestors had to go through as slaves in Egypt. Another part that has a lot of meaning in the Passover Seder is to ask the 4 questions and learn about the 4 children. To go along with that, we drink 4 cups of wine or juice throughout the night. I have been celebrating Passover for as long as I can remember. My favorite parts of our Seders are finding the afikomen, eating matzo ball soup, and enjoying my grandma's toffee matzah. Learning about the 4 children is very important. That's why it is essential to realize that we have all been all of these traits. For example, I have not been especially kind to my mom when she comes home from work for reasons of my own that had nothing to do with her, but I still took it out on her. Or if I was in a subject in school where I was excelling and I was able to ask a more advanced question, that doesn't mean I had to be labeled as the smartest person in the whole school or the wise child. By realizing this, we can all realize that it was really not fair to label these 4 children as only having one characteristic. From the story, I believe we need to remember that people are all different. After being able to read through the story many times, it really has become a story that to me is very important and close to my heart. It is a story that really shows that in today's generation, you can't judge someone very easily. After reading the story of the 4 children, it really has also changed the way I look at people and how, even though this is a very old story, it shows that even today people are still judging and putting labels on people. For example, one of my best friends, Haley, is one of the funniest people I know, and in my friend group, she's the funny one. But I also know that she's one of the most caring people I know. From reading the story of the 4 children, I realized that we all know how caring she is, but she was stuck with the label as the funny one, even though she and all my friends have so many more qualities. In conclusion, my entire Torah portion has really made me open up my mind and eyes to many different topics and ideas. It really made me think very hard about certain points of the portion and how to really get a good understanding of what they mean. One of the most important things it's opened my eyes to was the 4 children and how they were labeled. It was fascinating to see how, even though this is an ancient story, even back then we would put labels on people. I really have seen now how everyone has more than one characteristic, even if we're labeled as one special one. Please join me in singing the Shechechianu.
Don't mind if we do.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyemanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
We praise you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, for giving us life and sustaining us, and enabling us to celebrate this joyous and sacred occasion.
Amen.
As we prepare to return the Sefer Torah to the Ark, we'll have the opportunity to bless Sarah in front of the Ark. I invite you to please turn to page 374, and please stand if you are able. Yehalelu et Shem Adonai, ki nizgav shemo levado. Let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted.
Hodo aleret v'shamayim vayarem keren le'amo tehillah lechol chasidav lifnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Sarah, when I look into your eyes, I see a young woman who is wise, whose wickedness is for mischief and for doing good in the world, who sometimes needs some more information and sometimes just doesn't know how to ask the right questions. And what that means is that you are a complete Jew, a complete human being. Because as you shared so beautifully in your Devar Torah, with these little bits of text that are in your portion that you'll come across again in a few months when you celebrate Passover with your family, hopefully eating your grandmother's tafi matzah and matzah ball soup, you will remember this moment of connecting this day of your becoming bat mitzvah with this ancient sacred ritual that we celebrate each and every year. And I imagine that every Passover will be enriched simply because, as you said, you were very lucky to have this Torah portion. You are wearing a beautiful talit and a kippah. And I was also struck by what your father shared, how in Japanese culture and society at this age, you might also get a kimono and a sword. Now, if you were to have that sword in your hand, as your father said, it would be for protection. But I also think of the text in our tradition that talks about turning swords into plowshares and spears into pruning hooks, the idea of using instruments of war to turn them into instruments of farming and planting. And what that really means is that using these ideas and using your mind and your wisdom and your judgment and all these characteristics to do good in the world, to be, as your mom said, this social justice warrior, to use that sword to make our world a better place. Because I know that as you continue going through life, that steely, steadfast determination that you have on the soccer field, as we spoke about before, that I know is part of dance and part of all the things that you do, is going to take you very, very far in life. And I hope and pray that as you continue to fight for what is good and right and just in this world, as you continue to stand up for your friends as they have stood up for you, and as you continue to recognize the diversity that each person brings to his or her own personhood, different characteristics, different qualities, different ways of approaching the world, thinking, looking, celebrating, being with one another, that all of these ideas will continue to motivate you in the years ahead. So on this day, as you become bat mitzvah, we celebrate all of these gifts that you share and that has become part of you from your Jewish culture, from your Japanese culture, from family and friends from near and far. And we mark this occasion with this blessing from the words that come from this Torah scroll, the words of Birkat Kohen. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May God's face shine brightly upon you and be very good to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may God reach out to you, always bestowing upon you the gifts of kindness, of love, of compassion, the gifts of justice, mercy, and above all, the gift of peace. Amen.
Amen.
It's Chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomchecha meushar derachecha darchei noam v'chol netivotecha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh Yameinu, Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
Please be seated.
So Sarah, it strikes me how similar your Torah portion is to becoming a bat mitzvah. Because in your portion, there's incredible anxiety of what will come or not. and the fear of what's next. And what I know about you, Sarah, is that facing that anxiety and facing that fear head on is what makes you even stronger. Knowing that when you entered into this process to become bat mitzvah, you did so willingly, but perhaps not so excitingly. Because you were nervous and you were worried about what it might be and what was going to come and what it would mean. Today, Sarah, we celebrate what this means. We celebrate what this means in two important cultures. In your father's culture, in the samurai culture, what it means to ascend to adulthood at the age of 13, and what it means in our culture, in the Jewish culture, to ascend to this adulthood. And what it means, Sarah, I hope you know, and I know you know because we've talked about this, is this. It means community. It means belonging. And it means being part of something so great because they are thousands of years old, both traditions. You are the inheritor, and you are the future for these traditions. And so I offer you this blessing as we count you in as part of our tradition. You have been wondering what this day would bring you. You have been wondering what more could you do. Now here you were facing the Torah, your people, your family and friends, facing yourself too. You have been walking beside many others. You started this journey a long time ago, a lifetime of living and learning together. With each new beginning, each of us will grow. Count you in, you can stand up and be a part. Count you in, let you find your own way. For you can be counted on, so you're accountable. Count you in today. You're getting older, each day is a challenge. The more you are tested, the stronger you'll be. And you find your strength in the love that surrounds you, the strength for yourself, for our community. We'll count you in, you can stand up and be a part. Count you in, let you find your own way. For you can be counted on, so you're accountable. Count you in today. You've been studying, you've been practicing. Some may think that you finished the job, but the truth is it's just the beginning. And I want to see what the world that you live in can be. Life's always changing, we're starting all over. A new day is breaking for you and your friends. Make a commitment, a covenant sacred. Choose to go forward, your pathway never ends. So count you in, you can stand up and be a part. Count you in, let you find your own way. For you can be counted on, so you're accountable. Count you in today.
This time we have a few representatives from our temple leadership who will be presenting some gifts to Sarah. Representing our temple Bethel Board of Directors, we have Steve Skoll. Representing our temple Bethel Sisterhood, its president, Carol Lebenthal. And representing Speedy, our temple Bethel Youth Group, Jordan Davidson.
Well, Sarah, it's almost over. I want to thank you so much. It was your beautiful reading and everything else, and on the years of study have finally come to a culmination. So I am, on behalf of the Board of Directors, I want to present you with a few goodies, okay? Okay, the first is your very own prayer books for the High Holy Days.
Thank you.
Okay. Second of all, perhaps the most meaningful of your years of study, I want to present you with your bat mitzvah certificate. Okay. I'm sure it's going to be framed and put in a very nice place. Yes. Okay. Guard it well. The rabbi is giving you also a gift, and it's called Tough Questions Jews Ask. Okay. A young adult's guide to building a Jewish life. And when you read this, I'm sure it will answer a number of questions that you have and probably bring up a few more that you thought about when you were writing this that you would like to ask the rabbi. And finally, I would like to present you with this Israel Matters, the new revised edition. It's the Understanding the Past and Looking to the Future. Now, I think there was one other thing, Rabbi, that... Pardon? Oh, she's going to do it? Okay. So thank you very much. Okay. Enjoy what we've given you. Protect them well. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
Sarah, as the president of Sisterhood, on behalf of all the ladies, I would like to present you with this beautiful cup.
Thank you so much.
It's a Kiddush cup. Treasure it. I'm very impressed with all of your accomplishments and all of your potentials. Obviously, not only are you an excellent student, but you are interested and good in various forms of the arts. Even soccer, I consider a form of ballet. It is. Take a look. Broad perspective, and you'll see what I mean. Anyway, congratulations on the excellent accomplishment.
I'm sorry. Sarah, for those who don't know me, I'm Jordan Davidson, and I am the 9th grade representative of Speedy. Speedy is a part of NIFTY SoCal. NIFTY is the North American Federation of Temple Youth, and every time you go to a NIFTY event, you get a bead for your participation. And a lot of people like to adorn their necklaces with charms. So from Speedy, you are getting your own charm to adorn your necklace when you go to your first NIFTY event. Also from NIFTY, you are getting a $250 gift certificate for a trip to Israel after your confirmation year. Mazel tov. Thank you so much. would like to thank the following for their gifts, their help, and support. The Board of Directors for the Bat Mitzvah Certificate and High Holidays Mazor. The Temple Beth El Sisterhood for the Kiddush Cup. Nifty for the $250 gift certificate on a trip to Israel after confirmation. Jewish Federation for the book Israel Matters. Rabbi Briskin for the book Tough Questions Jews Ask. Spetty for the beautiful charm presented by Jordan Davidson. Rabbi Cantor and Debbie for their help in preparing me for this day. My mom, dad, brother, grandparents, my best friends, and all those who came from far away, and to all of you who are here today to celebrate with me.
So Sarah, we began the service with a Mazel Tov. We'll come to the end with a Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov on just leading us so beautifully today, leading of the liturgy and your Torah chanting and your beautiful words of Torah. We're just so very proud of you and grateful that we can be here to celebrate with you as well. So just a few announcements before we begin to conclude our service. Following the closing song of Oseh Shalom, we'll remain in the sanctuary for Kiddush and Motzi, the blessing over the wine. You'll be able to drink from our very own Kiddush cup, and Motzi, the blessing over the bread. It's our custom here to invite all of Sarah's Torah school classmates, whether they are in her grade or a grade younger, or even if they were former Torah school students who are here as well, to join us on the bima, to say Motzi when I invite you up. Immediately following the service, Takamis invite everyone to join in Al Manuel Hall for a little Kiddush lunch where we can have a little nosh and celebrate and wish Sarah first and foremost Mazel Tov, and give hugs and kisses and Mazel Tovs all around to the entire family. Just again, Mazel Tov, Lisa and Masahiko and Michael, and to your grandparents and all the people who are here to celebrate. Just what a very special day. So thank you, Sarah, for helping us make this day so special. Our concluding prayers begin on page 586 with Aleinu. Please stand if you're able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
On page 595. There are stars up above so far away, we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. In just a moment, we will recite Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish, calling to mind all those in our lives whom we've loved and lost, who have died either in recent days or who died at this time in years past. In addition to the names that you may choose to share, we also remember those who are near and dear to the Takami family who are with us in spirit today. Shigeo Takami, Hank Albert, Jeannie Wise, and Roy Burke. To these names, we add the names of those you are remembering. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We join together on page 598.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Put your prayer books down and reach out to one another. We conclude with Oseh Shalom.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Sarah, let's have your Torah school class. Actually, no, anyone who's under the age of 18, come on up. We're not like, it's not going to be like 60 people, so it'll work. So Sarah, yeah, you guys too, all of your, Sarah's friends, yeah, that group of really committed friends, you guys come up too. Sarah, but you gotta be front and center, Sarah. Sarah, sorry, front and center. You are still the center of attention for a little bit, I'm sorry.
על כן ברך את יום השבת ויקדשהו, סברי לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. לחיים.
We bless the bread with motzi.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
everyone.
shalom, everyone.
Join us in El Manuel Hall. Shabbat shalom. Okay, Zoe, you hold the tray. Okay. Yeah, everyone can go take a piece of challah. Whatever's left, you guys can have. Take a piece and just rip it off. All you gotta do. Come on, put it out.